jail or whatever they did. I can be live on Facebook. Amazing. Yay. All right. So I'll just move that over there so I can. Where's my camera though on Facebook? What the hell? Why is my camera not? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Yay. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, my loves, let's get this party started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is March 14th. Time is just whizzing on by. And I looked at how to spot a narcissist series and all the topics that we've covered since August of last year. And I guess last week was the last suggestion or idea or topic that I've had, which was how to break the trauma bond. And we went through that. So I was like, okay, what are we going to talk about today? So I went all the way back to the top. And the first one is, what are the red flags? That's the first topic that I covered. So we'll just go over that today. What are the red flags? We'll go deeper into what are the red flags versus what we've covered before, because yeah, what are the red flags? And then of course, if you all have any topics or questions that you want answered, please message me, let me know so I can add it to the list. I get the material from you, and then I show up every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time and give you either the answer, well, all of the above, answer to the question and some coaching. And I even give you like an action step for you to take, i.e. homework for you to do, right? So this series, How to Spot a Narcissist, is for you if you are a survivor of narcissistic abuse. You understand that spotting people who do not have empathy is an important skill to foster. And I think it's a great topic for those who are recovering. So that's who I'm aiming to and talking to, you. And the answer to this question is always going to be the same from me. If you follow me, if you're a client of mine, if you know even just a smidge about me, you know that I'm going to answer all of these questions the same way. And that is that you must heal from the past narcissistic abuse that you've experienced. And then you will never attract a narcissistic partner again. And I'm going to give you the answers that I'm not going to give you the answers that you could just Google or get on YouTube, which that's it, right? How many people say that? How many people say you've got to do the work? Like they go around about to say it. I'm not saying that nobody says it. They usually give you a superficial answer and you think like, that's what I need to do. But the deeper levels to all of this is to heal, to face your shit and heal. It's just the only way. That's just, so you have to be ready for this, right? You have to be ready to heal. You have to be courageous enough to face your stuff so that you can heal shit and heal this away. It's the only way. And so there's phases to that, right? Getting to the point of being courageous enough to face this, because if you've healed any part of your past, you know that it comes with certain uncomfortable feelings, like, you know, I did that, you know, and part of peeling, shedding, and healing is your body is going to react to what you're releasing. And usually that means tears. It means kind of bringing up the old pain that you went through. But the good news is that once you bring up that old pain in the healing process, it's gone forever. You never have to feel that again, right? You've already felt it, you've let it go. And so you never have to do that again. So that's what I mean by like the deeper levels to all of these questions that you guys ask me. It's heal, 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 heal your past, heal yourself, heal the shit that you've been through. The little things, the big things, heal. All right. So like I said, you're going to get the answers. That's the answer that you're going to get from me every single time. All right. And you're going to get the answers to questions like, what are the red flags? How do you trust your intuition? How do you set boundaries for connection and safety? What is love bombing? How do you know the difference between genuine love and affection versus love bombing? You know, questions like that, the questions that you're curious about when it comes to this personality disorder. Okay, so let's jump into what are the red flags. So I always say one of the biggest red flags that is your intuition, your gut feeling. What are you feeling when you are interacting with this person, right? Because here's how this goes. Most of us go into, oh, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm having a bad day. Maybe blah, 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 blah. When we get this intuition hit of this person, I'm not jiving with this person, we go into that. And it's not, so here's the thing. We've been trained to react that way. We've been trained to make excuses. We've been trained to give him or her a chance, give them the benefit of the doubt, right? And so we do. And that, those voices that come up is your ego. Your ego is the one who says, oh, just give me a chance. Maybe I'm having a bad day. That's all ego stuff. When you tap into your intuition, when you tap into your gut instinct, first of all, it never lies. But a lot of the times it shows up and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in the moment. So this is where you have to discern whether this is not making sense because I don't need it to make sense. It's my intuition. I need to follow it. Or do you fall back into the ego stuff saying, well, maybe I'm having a bad day, or maybe this person is having a bad day, or maybe they didn't understand, or maybe blah, 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 blah. That's up to you. And there's no right or wrong answers to this. It just is, right? Because our journeys, our life paths, our journeys in this human form are going to have times where we don't trust ourselves, or we ignore the red flags, or we whatever. And that's just because we've been trained, we've been ingrained to think that way, to not follow our intuition. And when it doesn't make, especially when it doesn't make sense, we go, well, even more into the excuses. Does that make sense? So what are the red flags? The first thing to answer that question, what are the red flags, is how do you feel? What's coming up for you when in the past you saw a red flag and you ignored it? What did your body, how did your body react? What did your body say? So I'll give you a couple of examples of red flags showing up for me that I followed and didn't follow. So I'm going to go back to dating. When I was dating after my divorce and dating in my 40s, there was a couple of men that I was going out on 1 or 2 dates because I didn't do it for long, where I saw the red flags and I followed it. So 2 are coming up in my head. One was this gentleman that, because the dating advice that I was getting back then was from my friends. I didn't have a dating coach. I didn't know what the hell I was doing because I had been in a relationship since I was 19. And here I was in my 40s out in the dating scene. Everything had completely changed. So my dating advice was coming from my friends, which my friends were saying, looks don't matter. It's how he treats you. As long as he treats you well, blah, 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 blah. That is not true. Do not listen to that advice. Go with your intuition. Because I went on this date with this gentleman and I wasn't attracted to him at all. In fact, there was lots of dates that I wasn't attracted to them at all, whether it was physical and or personality wise. I just wasn't attracted, right? So this one gentleman, we met at Starbucks in a very upscale area, which if you know me, I am not upscale. I am so down to earth. I am so like, just, I'm not uppity. I'm not that way at all. So we meet at a Starbucks coffee, and it's like he was staring into my soul. It was so creepy. And this is where the intuition comes in, and trusting your intuition. Because the minute I felt like that, I should have gotten up and left. But I didn't want to be rude. Here's a red flag, right? Red flags come up and we go, but I don't want to be rude. I don't want to look like a bitch. So we stick it out, whether it's a date, several dates, a whole freaking relationship, whatever. So that was me back then. I don't want to be rude. So I stuck out the date and pretended like, that's another thing. If you're pretending to be somebody that you're not, that's a red flag. Don't pretend to be somebody you're not. Be who you are. Say what you want. I pretended through the date, but in my mind, I was like, I'm never going to see this dude again, ever. He's giving me creep vibes. He's giving me like the serial killer vibes. Like he has pictures of women that he's obsessed with in the closet, like those types of vibes. And I didn't. But what I'm saying to you is that I shouldn't have even went through the whole date. I should have just got up and left. And you don't need to give excuses. You don't need to say, oh, I have an emergency phone call. Get up and fucking go. Okay. I wish somebody gave me this dating advice when I was dating. So another scenario or story is when I was on a date and the person asked me a question that was none of his effing business. And I should have, it was pretty much right when we met in person, face to face. And in that moment, I should have said, oops, I forgot something. I'll be right back. Got in my car and left. But I didn't. Once again, I pretended that he didn't just ask me a question that's none of his effing business, especially on a first date. And I went through the date. And that date particularly stands out to me because I made a lot of mistakes on that date. One was agreeing to go out with him on a date, and his son and his girlfriend were with us. That was weird. Shouldn't have agreed to that. The next thing was when I met him, he was wearing like an undershirt, like a waist beater undershirt. And that should have been red flag number 2. Get in your car and go, Denise. You don't need to entertain this bullshit. Red flag number 3 was when, as we were walking in the restaurant, he asked me that question, which is none of his business. That's red flag number 3. The date hasn't even started. Okay. But what did I do for all 3 of these? Ignored it, kept going, pretending. So we're sitting, we're having dinner. It was like an ale house. And his son says, oh, I forgot I have homework, blah, blah, blah. I have to do a paper, blah, blah, blah. We need to go. Red flag number 3, because we had plans to go to the movies, right? Again, me not knowing what I know now, me not trusting my intuition, me making excuses for literally a stranger. Like I never saw these people before that date or after that date. What am I on? Red flag 3, 4. Then he suggests, well, we could go back to my place. No. But I did. I agreed to it. So long story short, like nothing happened as far as like something bad, but it could have happened. This is where I'm like, oh, I think I even let him drive my car because he was like, you don't know where we're going. I know where we're going. Denise, shouldn't have done that. We get to his place, which is a camper. Like I have to laugh at this shit now. He said his house was being built. Probably a lie. Most likely, definitely a lie. And so there, what red flag am I on? 4, 5, 6, what red flag am I on? Like, who's keeping count, right? So then on this specific date that sticks out in my mind, he proceeds to tell me my bra size. He can guess my bra size. Now, at this point, I'm so far deep into this shit. Like, I look back, I'm like, geez, what were you thinking? Because the red flags will always continue, right? It's a sign. It's literally a sign that says, go away from this person. Do not engage in this conversation. Leave the date. Don't make excuses, right? It's all these signs that are popping up that we ignore. I ignored all of these signs in this one date that I'm sharing with you. One. So after that, asking me my bra size, we left. I left the date. I left his camper. Never saw him again. Never engaged with him again, because then it's like, then you look back, you look, in retrospect, you look back at the date. So probably while I was driving home, because this is years ago, probably while I was driving home, all of those red flags were playing out in my head from the beginning. And I probably was like, oh yeah, no. Never am I going to engage with this person again over text, messenger, whatever. Not happening again. But what I'm sharing with you is how you can avoid all of that, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I put myself in a really bad situation there. Thank God he's not a murderer or rapist, but let's be real, that could have happened. I was alone with him in this camper in the middle of nowhere. To this day, I can't tell you where we were because he drove. He drove us to his place. I don't know where it was. And here in North Carolina, there's lots of desolate areas that people live, without houses around them. It could have turned out really, really bad for me. Thank God it didn't. But this is the importance of following the red flags and reacting and responding to the red flags accordingly. Does that make sense? Like, you have to trust your intuition. You have to trust your gut. You have to stop people pleasing and saying to yourself, oh, maybe he's having a bad day, or oh, this, or oh, that, and go with what you're feeling inside. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe an excuse to anybody. You can't get up and walk away. You can and leave the situation. You can cut off all communication with this person. Yes, give yourself permission right now that that's what you're going to do. Whenever you notice somebody giving you red flags, that you're not going to make an excuse for this person. You're not going to make an excuse for yourself. You're not going to bypass the red flags. And you're going to trust your intuition. You're going to trust yourself, and you're going to act on your intuition. Okay? You're not going to feel guilty or like you owe anybody anything. The only person that you owe anything to is you. You're the only person that you owe anything to. So later on down the line, because this will happen again, people will show you red flags. They will. Promise yourself, make a commitment to yourself right now. From here on in, from March 14th, 2023 on, I will respond accordingly to the red flags that I see. I will respond accordingly to the red flags that I see. I trust myself. I trust my intuition. And I only owe myself anything. I don't owe anybody anything. Make that commitment to yourself right now and follow it. Like, a commitment is real. When you commit to yourself, that's the real deal. Okay? Does that make sense? You think I'm on 4? I don't know. I think I did like 6 or 7. I don't know. There was so many in that one situation. It's crazy. Like, I can't even, The person that I am now would never do any of that shit. But again, that's what growth looks like, right? It's all part of the process of growing. So, yeah, we all do. Yeah, that's a good one. Telling you they really like you or love you too soon is a huge one. Absolutely. I have a dating story about that. I want to bore everybody with all of my dating stories, but yeah, I have one like that. My husband texting me. Yeah, I could go on and on, but I'm not going to bore you with all of my dating stories. I'm going to keep this today short and sweet. Thank you for showing up. As always, my call to action is give me the topics that you want to know about. What are the questions? What are the things you need to know about when it comes to spotting a narcissist, whether it's in dating or whatever, just whatever topic you have, let me know. I will cover it. And as always, if I have a spot coming up for private coaching the end of this month. So I'm taking applications now for private coaching. And if you don't know about my membership, you might want to know about my membership. So you can ask me about the membership. I'll leave the link in the description below for you YouTubers, and have an amazing day. I love you. Bye.